You found the Tend the Flame podcast, and we are still on the journey of the energy centers. And we started this journey in the summer season, and we're finishing it in the fall. So thank you for your patience. It has definitely been a season of repatterning. And I was talking to, so I'm Kate Breton. I'm the creative force behind here. I love a microphone. I got introduced to it a couple years ago. I also, when I was in high school, we're going today. So if you're doing the dishes, enjoy and let the weave of the story bring you into relationship with the energy center of vision, internal vision. Um, some people call it the third eye. So when I was in high school, I was actually in the school play, loved it. I was into drama, and I um, was thinking about memorizing lines and seeing and how you were seen. And recently we were talking in a sidebar conversation about the phases that kids go through of emotional development and some of the more difficult phases of things that they have to navigate. And someone said, "Well, it probably wasn't hard for you." And I said, "Oh, I had braces, glasses, and red hair. I mean, what a vision, right? What a vision." So we go through different seasons, and this I am of seasons of development. And in this past, when the Rebirth podcast pivoted to Tend the Flame, it it was pivoting the mission to pay more attention to this as a podcast of learning, and for this to be a place to reignite a warmth that is fed by being in alignment with natural rhythms. We are humans, most of us living on the third planet, and we are living in a time of technological advancement. That is fine because that is what is. I'm wondering if more humans keep under one protective arm the relationship with the air and the earth and the fire and the wind, if we could not create a bridge between the fast acceleration and the necessity of simplicity and exuberant health to be happy humans, to tend the flame. And if you're like, what is this tend the flame? Let me remind you that oftentimes your health resides and is buttressed by your digestive fire. In Ayurveda, it's called Agni. And so if you are not breaking down your food, if you're not breaking down your day, if you're not able to integrate the experiences that are happening to you, your vision becomes cloudy. And you're like, what? Oh my God, I'll tell you what, because when your digestion is off, the taxation on your liver increases, and your liver and your eyes are intimately connected, which also brings me to another piece, my friend. Our emotional state has an effect on our vision. When I brought up technology and the earth, did you become frustrated? Did you become hopeful? What's your vision? Do you feel that the people, this amorphous, there's always a lot of theys running around these days, but are those that are having a larger stage economically carrying a vision that includes human health and simplicity? What would vision look like if we were not myopic? So let's meet this energy center that lives. So the third eye is about an inch above the bridge of your nose, right? It's this place that it is relationship to the pituitary gland. If you're not driving and you're available, if you bring your fingertips to just above your eyebrows, that place that sometimes people rub when they have a headache, there's a paper thin bone there. Okay. That's the wings of your sphenoid. And if you bring your hands above your eyebrows and where your fingertips meet, most likely that is where your pituitary is. And there's this gorgeous bone called the sphenoid or the bat bone that cradles the pituitary. And the pituitary gland is light sensitive, even though it resides inside your skull. And so is the pineal gland. That's a fun fact for you. In this energy center, we are going to reference the seed sound. So all of the energy centers we've referenced a seed sound. This is Om. The next one, the seventh one, would be Aum, A-U-M. This one is Om. And the essential oil I'm going to tell you that I enjoy, right? This is all just personal sharing of lived experience and researched wisdom, researched information, alchemized into wisdom, right? Because wisdom is something lived, is violet. The violet um, essential oil is so light and etheric and also mirrors the color of this violet color. And some of you might have even have heard of the violet flame, and it's okay if you haven't, but it is considered an energetic emanation for clearing, for clearing. And it was interesting when I first heard about the violet flame a very long time ago, in Mount Shasta, which for those of you who know the violet flame, that'll key off some information, learning about panther meadows and beings that are associated with that part of the world, including Saint Germain, this beneficent emissary that shows up at different cross points of time in the human field. They talked about a mantra with the violet flame, and the mantra was, "I am a being of violet power. I am the purity that God desires." I thought it was ridiculous when I first heard it. I thought it was ridiculous for years. And then I was curious about, why did that appear to be ridiculous to me? Why was that language crazy? What had changed in my vision when purity was something that felt enclosing? But yet, if I looked at Panther Meadows, which was the first place that my human self, interesting phrasing, that it saw a spring, like a real spring, where you're standing there and the earth is gifting you pure mineral water. And I thought, I didn't know this existed. When we talk about this center, the sixth center, the center of sight, we have to be aware enough to see new things, right? If we're frustrated, it's hard to come to solution. If we're determined on one outcome, another opportunity could be right in front of us and we just don't see it. We just don't see it. If our mind is cluttered, it's hard to see. Or if our room is cluttered, I have a child, it's hard for him to find his specific toy, right? And it's that balance between letting him have his own space in his room, right? But I'm really talking about ourselves, but reminding him that the discipline of keeping a clear space allows him to find what he's looking for. How much time of your day are you using, if you have the gift of sight, how much time of your day are you using your eyes? When are they resting? When are they not consuming? One of the things about the scrolling is, think about how often your eyes are consuming. When is their integration time? When is their digestion time? If the eyes have all of these images, what happens to our vision, both physical and, what would that word be? Not emotional, but categorically. Think about yourself in this, just, it's not a comfortable place for me. If you are in a room that's really messy, you know, um, I don't need it to be pristine, but do you ever walk in a room and it's like, especially I think of like of children, how children can just like pull everything apart and like they're just moved on to the next thing, and you walk in, you're like, I need to just at least put the drawers back so I can find some space. I wonder if that's how our eyes feel with the currency of how much information they're taking in. And when do we let them rest? You'll hear people talk about how the first hour of the morning, don't take in any social media. Well, think about it. Would you want someone telling you what to do and see when you wake up? But we don't think about it that way, right? We don't think about it that way. Maybe we need to start. Om. Om is the bija sound of the sixth center. And we also would be well equipped to have internal vision, a place to close our eyes, go within. That internal vision connects to the ability to hear, to Close and turn within to steady our internal focus to hear the clarity of the answers that are connected to us. I was working with a client recently, and it's not just one, actually. It's coming up in a bunch of places because, again, I'm not an astrologer. I do follow Molly McCord. She has a podcast. I seek out Natalie Levin. She is a friend. I also seek out Juliana Swanson. I follow her on my Substack. My Substack is Sit and Write. You can find Juliana there. And I also follow Mothercraft Herbal, Danielle Dericha, as a friend, and I intake their perspective on planetary weather so I may better harness the climate I'm living in and the way that I want to be living my life. So if they tell me, oh, it's going to be very fast paced, it's a good time to keep up. If they're like, oh, this is actually a time to get all your ducks in a row, it just ends up um, some people are debilitated by the weather and some people just know how to prepare for it. Right. And I can be both people. Right. Depending on how full my cup is, I could be like, yeah, I don't want to go do that outside today. But most times I can prepare and not be debilitated. And I think astrology helps us navigate when to prepare and when to sit back. So the next couple months, this is coming out in late October, the astrology looks like it will be present. It will be effective, affecting a lot of us, our times, especially if you're listening to this in the United States. So I say all that to this end. In a world where there are images being fed to us that are not actually happening in a physical, organic reality, what happens if we just consume in our vision and then we want to access information that is just our own? How are we differentiating? How are we maintaining internal vision? And so then back to the clients, a lot of people are harnessing this energy right now to clear out, clean slate, set intentions, get your body strong, um, activating the personal vision they have for their lives. And I said to them, one thing that's really worked for me as a prayer and a directive is show me what I have refused or been unable to see. Now, I know this is good if you are wanting to see it, because in the sentence of show me what I have been unable to see, or what I have refused to see, or what I have been afraid to see, is a request for illumination. And it's been my experience that illumination also needs your availability and responsibility to be perceived clearly. But that's where pattern shifts happen, you know? So the mantra I would give you, I've been giving you I am statements, but in a world where what you see, you need to discern. What have you not seen? While energies are intensifying, what do you need to see? What are you afraid to see? We can say we want change, but maybe it's going to be really scary, and maybe we're going to have to stand up to somebody, and maybe we're going to be alone for a phase, or maybe it's going to be hard, or maybe we're going to be rejected. I mean, that's all happened to me in a short period of time, but you get used to it. It is easier if you have the comfort of your own internal world, which no one can take away from you. No one can interpret for you. You can source support, witness, and facilitators to help you see what you need to see, to heal what you need to heal, to clear what you need to clear. But that's your dominion, your internal world. So careful how you feed it. So this center, this third eye, this inner seeing, this vision is friends with the two eyes that live right downstairs, right? And our perception and the stories we tell ourselves and how we harness and what we say in that fifth energy center of the throat, what we are speaking is affecting what we are seeing, right? Oh, I'll never get this. This is so hard. Difficulty. There's so many people teaching on the reticular activating system now and teaching you about like when you hear something the first time, then you go, oh my goodness, I've seen it everywhere. Oh my goodness, since you told me that, I've seen it everywhere. Ears, mouth, eyes. What is the relationship between the three? Like, have you thought about the structural relationship and the neighborhood of them and how perception of one affects the other? And how, if we are ready, ashamed, guilty, disappointed, like, can you hear my voice drop as my head drops? And we bring those energy centers down and we look down because we cannot look up and meet the eyes of the person in front of us. Do you see? Do you see how your internal realm and dialogue? Do you see how your will of the third center, your relationship of the second center, your rootedness of the first center? Do you see how all of these build on top of each other and build down and connect sideways and have interrelationship? So if this journey has been serving you, perhaps this is the time to ask yourself, what have I been unwilling, third center, afraid, not ready to see? Or what am I missing? I want to fill in the blank. I want to become financially viable. I want to have peace. I want to be a better parent. I want to show me what I need to see. Seeing is believing. But the trick to alchemy is you need to have the faith to see. You need to believe first. The sentence is inverted. Seeing is believing. No, believing creates the apparition of that which you want to see in this world. So, if you are interested in a flower essence for this center, I would recommend two. One of them is calendula, which is normally affiliated with skin and it's bright yellow, but also the vitality of the skin and the liver are a partnership. And so that's a sideball recommendation. And I would invite you to perhaps consider Googling, since you've been on all of the episodes at this point, to start to say, okay, let me see what a Bach remedy would be for vision. See what comes up. Cultivate your inner magnetism for your own answers, collaborating inspiration with vision. Show me what I need to see. And of course, one other remedy for activating and befriending this center would be to cultivate a meditation practice. I know. Having the time to have your eyes closed increases your ability to see while the world is active. You develop the relationship and cultivate the internal aperture for that. And do you know that even 10 minutes of meditation, so that would be 10 minutes in silence with your eyes closed, can drop your blood pressure, can start to clarify space inside of I mean, there's just so many benefits. If it's something that you need help with, I do have the everyday meditation method where it walks you through with 30 days of meditations and exercises. So if you're not ready to just sit down with your thoughts, it can give you auto guides to do it, and you can do it on your own. You don't, it's self-paced, self-study, and it's yours for a lifetime. So any updates to it, can grow with you. You can download the MP3s right on your phone. And instead of scrolling for 10 minutes, you can close your eyes and be with the very most important person in your universe. It's you. How do you look to yourself? Yeah. I am so glad you're here. I appreciate you. I appreciate so many of you are sharing this podcast. And I do want this global community to ignite so that as the world grows and changes, we are connected in amplifying a curiosity for growing human consciousness, growing kindness, and growing a world that is prosperous for all beings who live here. Thank you so much for tuning in to Tend the Flame. You can hop over to Spotify and click the star button because that's how the algorithm helps, or leave a message or a review on Apple. You can also, which would be fabulous, share on your social media. Which energy center are you learning the most from, even if you already know all of them? What flower essence are you going to choose for repatterning your eyes to see the truth that is in front of you? And the truth is, you're the best. You deserve the best. And you give your best every day. And you can leave your past mistakes, let them drop right down to the ground like the golden red leaves are dropping right now, and open your eyes to what a gift you are. And we're so glad you're here. Thanks for tuning in. And we'll see you again back here real soon on Tend the Flame.